Hi, this is Kristina Lin from TaiwaneseAmerican.org. I'm honored to be here with Weiko Lin, the producer and the original creator of this idea for the movie 100 Days. So, Weiko, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do?
Yeah, I was born in Taiwan and immigrated to the United States, Los Angeles, when I was 8 years old. And I've been here ever since. And I got my English degree at UCLA, and I went on to get my MFA in screenwriting from UCLA as well. And I've been teaching at a university level at the University of California in screenwriting for the last over 10 years. And we're professional as a screenwriter. I'm part of the Writers Guild of America here in the United States.
Yeah. So speaking of writing, how did you think of this? How did this idea come about? What were your inspirations?
To be very, truthful and honest, the seed that planted this whole idea was when about 7 years ago my mom passed away, and I went back to Taiwan to, send her off and then bring her ashes back to the United States to be buried. And there I really learned, I was very heartbroken. It was very quite devastating time in my life. I was very lost. And then there, I learned about this tradition called 100 Days.
Oh, What's the 100 days?
Again, I didn't know. That's exactly my reaction. It's called 百日冲洗. And I didn't know about this concept or this tradition. But it's, for our parents' generation, mine and yours and your grandparents, our grandparents, it's basically a concept where if a parent passes away and the child is not wed, he or she has 100 days to get married. Or they have to wait for 3 years.
Oh. So 100
Yeah, 100 days. And I think that, and then I really love the romantic side of it. And really, knowing that tradition, in a way, 安慰我一点. It kind of really soothed me because I love that tradition, because the idea behind it is for every parent, their sole job is really to make sure that their child has a family. Yeah. So they're around, their spirit is around for 100 days until the child is married, and then they can then release their heart, 放心. And then move on to the next world. And I just love that thing that was there. I didn't get married in 100 days, don't worry. But it stuck in me, for a long time. I just really wanted to tell this story so badly.
Yeah.
And I felt like I need to tell the story before I can really have closure.
Yeah.
So then my mom always told me or asked me, how come I never do anything for Taiwan, for the movies? And I told her I promised one day I will, when she was on her deathbed. So I fulfilled her promise, and that's where I am today with the film. Finished it, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit maybe about your family, your parents, and kind of how that led you maybe to story writing, screenwriting, producing?
Yeah, my mother was very open and she's very, let us do whatever we wanted to do. So not a typical, you got to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer. There's none of that kind of pressure, and just really hands-on. Do whatever makes us happy. And my mom didn't really say, "Hey, go for it. You're going to be a star or anything. You're going to be a writer, director." But she didn't get in the way. And for me, that's the best any Taiwanese parent can do. But as long as they're giving us the space and the opportunity to do it, and I'm so forever thankful to them for letting us do that, for letting me do that. Yeah.
So we actually heard that besides this movie, you actually have a comic book written. Can you tell us a little bit about this in terms of chronology of movie?
It's kind of like a Japanese anime. We're probably the first Taiwan movie in history where we released the comic book simultaneously with the movie's release. So I got the idea from Hollywood. Whenever a lot of films come out, they do a novelization of the movie. Yeah. And we thought, hey, Taiwanese people love comic books. Why not do a comic book version of the movie? And it's great, because we have the stars to show up at bookstores, sign autographs, and then get the fans of comic books to come watch the film. And people who love the movie, wants to see the story in another medium, they can read the comic book. Yeah. So we just thought it was really great, culturally specific to Taiwan. And the audiences really, really loved it.
Yeah. And so just the last question, how did this movie or this project, tie in with your Taiwanese American identity?
Yeah, really great question. Every Taiwanese American feels like, am I Taiwanese or am I American? We're both in a way, but what's the both? How do you really split that? Mm-hmm. And for me, I see it more, I am an American, right? But within me is Taiwanese. But when I want to tell Taiwan stories or Taiwan culture and Taiwan values and express those values, I do it through an American context. So what is American context? So if you watch our film, when you watch our film, it has a very Western narrative. You know, the way you see any kind of Hollywood films that tells a story. Very different than the typical traditional Taiwan movies, because then this narrative structure is very accessible to people outside of Taiwan, to Westerners, to other Asians. So they can really see, because, you know, most people are familiar with Hollywood narrative structure. And this way you watch it, you feel, I get it. I get it. And this way, yeah, and this way, more people know about what Taiwan is, and what Taiwan culture is, and what Taiwan values are. And that's something that's very important to me. So I was so excited to have the opportunity to produce and create the story for 100 days, and to hopefully connect with more audiences worldwide.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been such an honor. So be sure to check out 100 Days the movie and 100 Days the comic book, and we hope to see you around.
Great. Thank you. Bye. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Quick question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Taiwanese food?
It's hujiaoxia. Do you know what that is? Pepper shrimp.
Pepper shrimp?
Yeah, it's a very Taiwanese. It's in a clay pot. It's cooked in a... You never had it before? It's a very Taiwanese. It's a hot clay pot. It's called hujiaoxia. And a big fat shrimp from Thailand, and then it's cooked. It's very local Taiwanese style. It's my all-time favorite.
Okay, I gotta try that.
Yeah, it's very spicy, very peppery. It's so good.
Next question. Favorite Taiwanese dessert?
Dessert. You know, mango ice?
Yes.
That new thing? Yeah,
Yes.
it's called Ice Monster.
Oh my god.
You know,
yes,
my Ice Monster, right? They had a spin-off, but mango ice, oh, that's the most genius Taiwanese invention ever.
Great choice.
So good. It's so good. With the ice, you know, it's already had the mango juice inside, and they shave it. Oh, so great. Yeah.
So hungry.